Hey there, my little ones! Before we drift into today's story, I want to share a secret for ultimate little space coziness. For gear that makes you feel perfectly small, safe, and snug, visit abdlcomforts.com. They have everything you need, from the softest onesies and the most reliable diapers to comforting pacifiers and cuddly friends. Wrap yourself in the best. Now, let's begin our story. When a clueless babysitter mistakes an 18-year-old for her diaper-wearing charge, a hilarious mix-up spirals into 3 days of babyish routines, embarrassing outfits, and unexpected bonding that leaves two sisters closer than ever. Stay tuned for this gripping story. Samantha felt a knot of dread tighten in her stomach as she watched the perky girl, Emily, she'd said her name was, snap open a fresh diaper with the casual ease of a seasoned pro. This wasn't happening. It couldn't be. "Okay, sweetie, lie back for me. We'll get you all cleaned up in no time," Emily chirped, her voice dripping with a syrupy, patronizing kindness. "No, seriously, you have the wrong person," Samantha pleaded, her voice cracking. She was 18, for heaven's sake, a legal adult. She was wearing sweatpants and had been eating cereal, not pureed peas. "It's okay to be shy," cooed Emily, completely unfazed, as she patted the couch cushion. "Your mom said you might get a little fussy about changes, but we have to stick to the schedule." Before Samantha could formulate another protest, Emily had gently but firmly guided her shoulders back. The world tilted, and she was staring at the ceiling, the thick, crinkly diaper already being slid beneath her. The scent of baby powder filled the air. Humiliation, hot and prickling, swept over her. This was a new, profound level of absurdity. The rest of the morning passed in a surreal blur of soft commands and infantilizing routines. Emily produced a sippy cup of juice. She insisted on cutting Samantha's sandwich into tiny, crustless triangles. She kept referring to nap time. Samantha's protests were met with patient, infuriatingly calm smiles and phrases like, "We don't use that tone, sweetie," or "Accidents happen, that's why we wear these." Samantha's salvation, she thought, would be her younger sister Chloe. Chloe was 16, sharp-tongued, and never missed an opportunity to tease her. But she'd set this straight in 2 seconds flat. When the front door finally burst open and Chloe strode in, Samantha felt a surge of relief. "Oh, thank God! Chloe, tell her this is insane!" Chloe stopped, her eyes scanning the scene. Samantha pinned under a baby blanket, a sippy cup on the coffee table, the open package of diapers. A slow, wicked grin spread across her face. It was the grin Samantha knew all too well, the one that preceded epic, merciless teasing. "Tell her what?" Chloe asked, her voice all innocent curiosity. "That I'm not a baby, that this is all a huge mistake." Chloe tilted her head, her eyes glinting with mischief. She turned to Emily. "Has she been giving you trouble? She gets like this sometimes, so stubborn." Samantha's jaw dropped. "Chloe, what are you doing?" Emily sighed, a sound of relieved camaraderie. "Oh, a little. She didn't want her diaper changed earlier." "Typical," Chloe said, shaking her head with mock seriousness. She walked over and picked up the discarded sippy cup. "You know, it's honestly better when someone else is in charge. She listens much better that way." A cold horror dawned on Samantha. Her sister wasn't here to save her, she was here to enjoy it. "Please," Samantha whispered, her last shred of hope crumbling. "Please what?" Chloe asked, sweetly, taking a sip from the cup herself. "Trust me, Em, she'll thank us later. She needs the structure." The next 3 days descended into a meticulously orchestrated nightmare of sisterly revenge, with Emily as the willing, cheerful enforcer and Chloe as the gleeful architect. Samantha was trapped in a world of enforced littlespace. Diaper changes were no longer just functional, they were performative, with Chloe commenting on fit and tape jobs. Nap time was mandatory, complete with lullabies. Meals were in the high chair Chloe dug out of the garage for authenticity. The line between punishment and something else began to blur on the second day. After a particularly dramatic protest from Samantha, Chloe, instead of just smirking, had plopped down on the floor next to her playpen prison with a sigh. "You're being so loud," she'd said, but her tone lacked its usual edge. She'd pulled out an old handheld game console. "Here, just be quiet and play this or something." It was a tiny, grudging peace offering. Later, during a forced afternoon of coloring, they'd actually gotten into a silent competition over who could stay inside the lines better, their bickering shifting from hostile to familiar. The turning point came during a disastrous bath time. Emily, trying to wash Samantha's hair, accidentally used way too much baby shampoo, creating a mountain of suds that overflowed onto the bathroom floor. For a moment, there was stunned silence. Then Chloe, who was supposed to be supervising, let out a snort. Then a giggle. Then she was laughing so hard she had to hold on to the sink. Samantha, covered in bubbles and indignity, saw the absurdity of it all. The suds, the ridiculous bath seat, the whole insane situation. A reluctant laugh bubbled out of her, too. Soon they were both howling, tears streaming down their faces, while a confused Emily tried to mop up the flood. The dynamic shifted after that. The humiliation was still there, but it was now shared. They were co-conspirators in a bizarre, babyish adventure. They developed silent signals to mock Emily's chirpy instructions. They had a secret contest to see who could stack blocks higher during playtime. The constant, thick padding under their clothes became a weird private joke. On the final evening, when their parents finally returned a day early, they walked in on a scene of unexpected domesticity. Samantha and Chloe were on the living room floor, both in footed pajamas, diapers undeniably evident, working together to build a precarious castle out of megablocks. They were bickering, but it was the comfortable bickering of siblings, not the sharp warfare of days past. Their mom took one look, her eyes wide. "What in the world?" Emily launched into a flustered apology about the mix-up. Chloe, however, just leaned back on her hands and grinned up at their parents. "It's a long story," Chloe said, "but we worked it out." Samantha nodded, a faint smile on her face. "Yeah, we did." The punishment, intended to teach a lesson about empathy, had done something else. It had stripped away their teenage pretenses and forced them into a vulnerable, ridiculous space where they had no one but each other. The 3 days of forced regression, of shared humiliation and secret laughter, had woven a new understanding between them. As they got ready for bed that last night, in their own beds, in their own pajamas, Chloe paused at Samantha's doorway. "You know," Chloe said quietly, "I'm still never letting you forget the face you made during that first diaper change." Samantha rolled her eyes, but she was smiling. "I'm never letting you forget you picked out the bunny-themed onesies." a silent understanding passed between them. The embarrassment was a memory now. The closeness, however, that was something new. And as Samantha drifted off to sleep, the familiar, comforting crinkle of her last mandatory diaper, a soft sound in the quiet room, she realized the whole insane ordeal had given her something she hadn't expected, her sister back. Thank you for listening, my little ones. If you enjoyed this story of unexpected bonds and cozy chaos, remember, for all your own little space essentials, from playful pajamas to your most comforting supplies, visit abdlcomforts.com. Dream sweet, and we'll see you next time for another story.